All right, hello once again. Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over the 10-part presentation on the MVC3 MusicStore, trying to convert that over into MVC5. I've gone through the first 6 lessons, and I've had some issues with lesson 7, so we're going to put that on the back burner for a while and jump right into lesson 8, whereas it's shown right here, we add shopping cart with Ajax updates. All right, so there's a lot of code in this lesson. As it says, will allow users to place albums in their shopping cart without registering, but to check out, they will need to register as a guest. All right, notice here the shopping cart process and the checkout process will be separated into a shopping cart controller to anonymously allow you to add things to a shopping cart, and a checkout controller to handle the checkout process. The first half of the chapter or so is on the shopping cart process, and then they go into the checkout process. So the author says, let's add cart or order and order detail model classes. So the shopping cart and checkout processes make use of some new classes. First thing we want to do is add a cart.cs class that's going to have this. So let me just grab this, copy it to the clipboard. Again, we want a cart.cs class here. I guess I should have mentioned last time, just for completeness sake. All right, don't want to jump back and waste my time or yours. But if we look here, this 12.5, here were our comments for chapter 6. So this is what we did. We added the data annotations. We learned about the different kinds of data annotations, and we updated the album form to use most of those data annotations. All right, so again, we want to come in here. Let's stop the run here. I don't know what happened there again, and I'm not worried about it right now. But I want to close a few things because I've got a lot of stuff open here. And I will close what I need to, or open what I need to, I guess, on an as-needed basis, if that comes to be. So the first thing we want to do, according to this, is we want to come in, right mouse click on our models, click Add Class, and I think, again, one more time, but I believe it's cart.cs. Cart.cs, there we go. Oops. Cart.cs. Okay, there's our new cart class. That new cart class, according to what we have here, should hold this. Okay, we'll put it in, and we'll come back and talk about it. What you see here is things we've talked about before. There's a couple new things. The word key is there to show this is a primary key. And we've got a date time field for the date created. All right, if I go over here, click, I need using the data annotations. All right, so we had to add this stuff again. And the system added it for us once we chose that. Okay, let's go back to here. Again, as it says, the class is pretty similar to others we used so far, with the exception of this attribute right here. Now, I'm going to try to use my words rather than the author's. By default, if you've got a class called cart, the system supposes that your primary key is a field called cart ID. We want to circumvent or override that because we want our primary key to be record ID. All right? So as it says, by convention, Entity Framework Code first expects the primary key to be named cart, for a table named cart to be cart ID or ID. We are overriding that. Okay? Next, we're going to add an order.cs, and we're going to put this in. See, a lot of code we're being added here already. Again, always like to double check. And that's order.cs. And in our order class, we're going to add this. We're again possibly going to get, are we going to get any errors in here? Order detail. Well, let's hope that we fix that as we go on in here, okay? Those are the fields that we have in here. Now it says the class, oh, there it is. The class tracks summary and delivery information for an order. This is what this tracks. It won't compile yet because it has an order details navigation property, which we haven't added yet. So we've got to add one more class, which is orderdetails.cs. Oops, I don't want that, I want this. All right. Now, hopefully what that did, once we do a save all, is that fixed, or should fix, what's here. All right, we'll see. So let's go back and take a look at everything we've done thus far. We started by going in and creating a class called cart. This will symbolize what's in our shopping cart. All right, so it'll be a list of albums. Then we created an order class. All right, this is going to track delivery information for the order, so it's going to equate the person who ordered it with the actual order. All right, then next we went in and we did an order detail. So these were the orders and these were the specifics for what was ordered under that order. So think about it this way. Let's say that I go online. All right, so let's say that I go out to Amazon.com and I go over to books. All right, and under books, let's say that I want some books on ASP.net. All right, so I look and I go, oh, that one looks pretty good. In fact, I've used this book before. So I take this book right here, all right, and let's just say that I add it to my shopping cart. All right, then I come back and I add another book to my shopping cart. So this is the book we've been using previously for this class, so I add that to my cart. All right, now the system right now doesn't have any idea that I'm the one ordering it, but it does if I go to my cart. Okay, so here's my shopping cart. And these basically are the items that are in my cart, but when I go out to check out and I've got to give it information from me, all right, then I'm creating my order. Okay, and the stuff that's in my cart will be the details for my order. Now I don't want either one of these, so I'm just going to click delete and delete. All right. Hopefully when I go through stuff like this, I'm making it easier to understand and not harder. So it says we have to make one last update to our MusicStore Entities class. And that is, I already added the artist here, but we have to add carts, orders, and order details. Now why it's pushed all over the place on there, I'm not sure. But we want to go to our MusicStore Entities, hit enter, and add those lines. So let's try to see if we can pretty this up a tad. Oops. All right, I'm still getting that error, and I'm not sure why. Looks like we want to use the MVC MusicStore models. All right, now, at least when I do a save all, I have no errors here. Let's just work our way back through this. It looks like for some reason I got an extra curly. All right, so I've got no errors here. Start with our cart, which I think had no errors to begin with, and it doesn't. All right, then we went to our order. Still has an error here, and I'm not sure why. Go to our order details. That's now fixed. All right, so we're getting there. How's that? All right. Managing the shopping cart business logic. Now, this particular presentation is 23 pages, so there is no way in heck that I'm already at 10 minutes. So I'm going to go for a couple more minutes. But for right now, let's go over, because this is page 5 of this, and actually pages 6, 7, 8, 9, and half of page 10. That's all the code for this. So it says, next we'll create the shopping cart class. The shopping cart model handles data access for the cart table. In addition, it handles business logic. Business logic, for lack of better words, are the rules that govern the business. For instance, at Rankin Technical College, you are allowed to come in and view a class when we have a Shadow a Tech Day, or when if you get a hold of Jeremy Sutton, who's our site director, and say, hey, I'm thinking of becoming a student here, I'd like to sit in on a class. They'll typically accommodate you. And if you're not sure, maybe they'd even let you come back a second time. I don't know how it works, but you couldn't just come in there and, when the semester starts in August, and when I take attendance and have me say, yeah, are you in the class? No, I'm just going to go for the entire semester, and I'm just going to sit in class, but I'm not going to pay, and I'm just going to sit here. They don't do that. All right, because the business rules, which implement the business logic, say that in order to be a student in the class, you have to pay. Now, there are places, just so you know, what is it? There's a place called Coursera that I've taken classes from. They have some online classes. So let's say that I come in here. You can see some of the stuff. So let's say that I wanted to take a class in, I'm just looking here to see if there's some. Okay, I'll put Applied Science with Python. All right. And it's got 5 different courses. Well, there's 5 courses created by the University of Michigan, etc., etc. Here's course 1, Introduction to Data Science in Python. All right. So I'm looking at it, and there's course 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. This wasn't a good example. All right. But I think I can, do I have to log in? I don't remember. I don't think so. The point is this. If I want to come in here and take one of these courses, I have 2 ways that I can take these courses. All right. I can take them where I pay, it's usually like $49, and when I get done, I get a certificate of completion. Or I can audit the class for free, but I don't get any certificate of completion, and they never really track whether or not I finished the class. So why did I tell you that? Because that's their business rules. That's how they operate. All right. We don't want to require users to sign up for an account just to add items to their cart. So as it says, we'll use a temporary unique identifier called a GUID, or a global unique identifier when they access their shopping cart. We'll store this in what's called a session variable. We talked about sessions, yeah, remember those? Back earlier in the class when we were going through the book. And as they mentioned, sessions are a convenient place to store information. All right. While the misuse can have performance implication, they'll work fine for what we're doing. So the shopping cart will contain all of these methods that you see right here. An add to cart method, and notice add to cart takes an album as a parameter, so that album is passed into it, and it adds that album to the user's cart. Since the cart table tracks quantity, it includes logic to create a new row if needed, or just increment the quantity if the user has already ordered a copy of the album. So if you decide that you're going to order an album, all right, for instance, my wife just ordered an Amazon Fire, 10-inch Amazon Fire. And while we were doing it, she decided that she said, wow, I bet you your mother would like one of these. We never know what to get her for Christmas. So she went back to her order and added another one. So the add to cart already had 1 in there, it incremented it to 2. If we decided, maybe we talked to my mom, we didn't, but maybe we did and she doesn't want it, we could remove it from the cart, 1 or both. If we had 2 in there, we wanted to empty them both, we could do remove cart twice, or we could just do an empty cart. To get cart items, That grabs everything that's in the cart so we can either display it to the user or process it by charging them. Get count will give the total number of albums, in this case, the user has in his or her shopping cart, whether it's several copies of the same album, or one copy of several albums, or one copy of one album. Get total will be the total cost of all items in the cart. Again, later that'll be changed to free. All right. Create order will convert the shopping cart to an order when we check out. Get cart, as it says, is a static method which allows our controllers to grab a cart object. It uses the get cart ID to handle this. We'll go through that a little bit more as we go on. So this is the code, but if you look, you'll notice there's quite a bit of it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not sure what we have. So this is our shopping cart class. All right. What I'm going to do is grab all of this. I'm going to grab the entire thing. Copy it to the clipboard. Go here into Notepad++, paste that in, and the only thing I want to change is I want this to be a big MVC. All right, Control-A, Control-C to copy. Now I'm going to come back to my code. I want to go back to my cart class. Not to my cart class, I'm sorry. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. I'm sorry here. Next, we'll create a shopping cart class in the models folder. All right. So we're going to go into our models folder. Remember, we just added cart.cs here. All right. So here is the complete shopping cart class. So that's what we're going to add, is shopping cart.cs, which I don't believe we have. We don't. Right mouse click, add, class. This will be shopping cart.cs. All right, there it is. I'm going to highlight this and remove it and paste in everything that we had. All right, so that added everything. The good news is it's only flagging one thing right now as being in error. Not sure what that is right now, but hopefully whatever it is, there it is. We're still having problems with that order detail. And I don't know, was I supposed to make order details called order detail? Maybe I screwed up. Let's double check this. That should have been order detail. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is this. Copy that to the clipboard. I'm going to remove this order details. I'm going to come back in here, right mouse click, add, class. I'm going to make that order detail .cs. Come in here, paste that in. All right, do a save all. Now when I come back to my shopping cart.cs class, hopefully that error that was in there, hopefully this will be rectified. All right. All right. Now, again, I'm not sure. In fact, let's do this. I'm just going to get rid of this, and I'm going to come back in again and paste it back in. And you notice the error is now not on. Doggone it. Same error. I've got order detail now, and that does look like it's correct. Order detail. In fact, let's do a build solution. Okay. All right. It says the name order details could not be found in our MusicStore entities. So that should be detail, and that should be detail, I believe. Now, in fact, I'm not going to change this. let's go back and look in our MusicStore model. It says here, this should be ordered detail and call it ordered details. So let's again save all, build solution. All right, shopping cart. Now is that error finally gone? It looks as though it is. I know that one of the students yesterday was having a problem, and as it turned out, they had a misspelling in one file. I don't know if it was a case miss, if they left the S off, or they just misspelled something. But you see how that can raise havoc when we're going through this. All right. So again, let's run through each one of these. Add to cart takes an album as a parameter and adds it to a shopping cart. So again, we've got what? Well, let's take it from the top. How's that? We've got get cart here that allows us to obtain a cart object. And you notice that we've got get cart right here, and we've got a get cart right here. Well, why do we have two of them? All right. Well, this one has one thing passed in. This one has another thing passed in. All right. This is what's being used to create a brand new shopping cart. This is to work with an existing shopping cart. So you call get cart. If there isn't one, it'll be created, and if there is one, all right, it'll return that cart. So that's the first thing. We've got add to cart, as it says there. Takes an album as a parameter and adds it to the user's cart. That's right here. There's the parameter, and it's going to attempt to go in and add it to the user's cart. Again, it has to check, do we have an existing shopping cart? If it's null, we don't have an existing shopping cart, so we create one, and we put that album in there. All right? Otherwise, if the item does exist in the cart, we just want to add one to the quantity. So we have to check and see, is this the first time we're ordering this album, or is it not? Okay? Pretty much the reverse of add to cart is remove from cart. So this is saying right here, if the cart is not empty, if there's more than one in there, decrease it by one. All right? Otherwise, just remove it if there is only one in there. All right? And return an item count. This says basically go through the entire cart and remove everything that's in there. This says give me a list of everything that's currently in my shopping cart. This says give me a count of everything that's in my shopping cart. So return it, and if there's not anything, give me a 0. This will get the total of everything that's in my shopping cart and return that, or 0. This is create order, and let's see what they give there. It converts the shopping cart to an order during the checkout phase. I mean, it's getting pretty heavy when you look at what's in here. It's a lot of code. This gets the cart ID. And we've got migrate cart, as it says, when a user is logged in, migrate their shopping cart to be associated with their username. All right, now that was a lot to jump through. So I'm going to stop right here and continue on talking about view models. And I am on page 10 of 23 right now. And I'm hoping that I can get through this without having to worry about having an admin type of thing that we talked about before. So I'll be back to pick it up with view models in just a couple moments.